there is more to cover that I need to talk about. And I am not thrilled about this because this just kind of shows how dangerous America is getting for everyone. And I can't keep saying that every time, but it's also true. But first, let me go ahead and get the fan art section out of the way so that we can have, just a little bit of solace before things go sideways. So, the first piece of fan art here is from Mint. Said, Suris featured my art in a previous video and was talking about wondering what it would be like if I actually tried, so here it is. But here is the finished piece, and this is fantastic. Holy shit. Okay, if this is what happens when you try, then you have all of my respect. This looks absolutely wonderful. Thank you very, very much, Mint. I appreciate it so much. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, we have a couple of people who have been either renditioned or deported, depending on which word applies to them better in the specific moment. And these news stories happened back to back. So let's look at the first one. Let's go ahead and look at the first one. This one, international students in Alabama fearful after researcher with no political ties is detained. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Sama Ebrahimi Bajgani and her fiance, Alariza Daruti, I'm very bad at pronouncing these, I'm sorry, had just spent an evening celebrating the Persian New Year at the University of Alabama when 7 armed immigration officers came to their apartment before dawn and arrested Daruti. Why? Why? What the fuck did they do? What did they do? In a moment, the young couple's life was upended. I was living a normal life until that night. After that, nothing is just normal, Bajgani said. Details about Daruti's detention spread through the small Iranian community in Tuscaloosa, where Bajgani and Daruti are doctoral students. Other Iranian students say they have been informally advised by faculty to lay low and be invisible, instilling a fear among a once vibrant cohort. Daruti is among students across the United States who have been detained in recent weeks as part of President Trump's immigration crackdown. Bajgani said the couple does not know why Daruti, who has no criminal record or public political views, faces deportation, adding that Trump's recent visit to the school made her feel like the university was ignorant of our crisis. One Iranian civil engineering student and close friend to Daruti said he lost more than 10 pounds due to stress and depression in the 6 weeks since Daruti was detained. Said it's like all of us are waiting for our turn. It could be every knock, it could be every email, every one of these things could be deportation, says the student, who spoke on condition of anonymity because of concerns about losing his legal status. He now avoids any unnecessary trips outside. When he was in a car crash last month, he begged the other driver not to call the police, even though he wasn't at fault, because he didn't want to draw attention to himself. Stoff, thank you for redeeming your points for a wetting. Shit like this is why I think that ICE are just deplorable human scum. Like, no. I am willing to use that language when it comes to ICE officials because you chose to have that job knowing that this is the kind of shit you're going to do. And you can choose to leave that job at any fucking point. There are no good ICE officers. Period. Being an ICE officer is 110% a stain on your character. There are people who join the police force thinking that they are just going to go do law enforcement, and they truly believe in the things that they are doing. I am willing to say there are some people who are police who are not horrible. I am not willing to extend that same measure to people in ICE. I am not. Vashgani says Durudi, 32, is an ambitious mechanical engineering student from Shiraz, Iran. He entered the United States legally in January 2023 on a student visa. Vashgani said he often worked 60-hour weeks while still making time to run errands for loved ones. If somebody like him doesn't get to the place he deserves, there is nothing called the American dream. Durudi's visa was revoked in June of 2023, but the embassy did not provide a reason and ignored his inquiries. The university told him he could stay as long as he remained a student, but that he would not be allowed to re-enter the United States if he left. He was operating under that guidance when immigration officers came to the couple's door in March. The University of Alabama did not comment on Durudi's case, but said it offers resources to help immigrants on campus comply with federal law. Maybe instead of offering resources to comply with federal law, maybe we start talking about how fucking bonkers stupid the federal law is. It also offers guidance to students whose visas are revoked. They said, our international students are valued members of our campus community. Yeah, you only say that because they're providing you money, you fucking cowards. Said the university spokesperson, Monica Watts. Durudi told Vashgani that he spent 3 days in a county jail, sleeping on a tile floor and feeling panicked. Yeah, no, those floors are not comfy. I have had to sleep or attempt to sleep on a jail floor, and that shit is awful. Specifically in mine, they were blasting cold air at me every fucking 15 minutes, so I was unable to get any sleep. Paulding County jail cell, that entire legal system, the entire legal system is fucked. That should not be a thing that is allowed or okay. No. He is now in a Louisiana immigration detention facility more than 300 miles from Tuscaloosa while he awaits a deportation hearing scheduled for next week. At least one other high-profile international student is there. Said, I didn't deserve this. If they had just sent me a letter asking me to appear in court, I would have come because I didn't do anything illegal. I stayed with this country's permission. Durudi said in a letter that he dictated to Vashgani over the phone to provide his perspective to others. What was the reason for throwing me in jail? More than 1,000 international students across the U.S. have had their visas or legal status revoked since late March, according to an Associated Press interview of the university statements and corresponded with schools officials. They included some who protested Israel's war in Gaza. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement has since reversed those revocations, including those of 4 University of Alabama students. University staff closely monitors changes that could affect them and has communicated updates related to new protocols and procedures. A Louisiana judge who denied Durudi bond in mid-April said he didn't sufficiently prove that he wasn't a national security threat. It's a fucking student, you idiots! That's a goddamn fucking student! What are you concerned about? I need you to prove to me that you are not a national security threat. No, bitch! You need to prove they're a security threat. Innocence before proven guilty. You goddamn morons! Roses said that he was flabbergasted because the government hasn't presented any evidence that Durudi is a threat, though that is what the Department of Homeland Security has alleged. Jesus fucking Christ. If you are right-wing and watching my content, why are you okay with this? Not, are you okay with this, but why are you okay with this? Yeah, that's right. I'm accusing you. If you are right-wing and you are in my audience, obviously subscribe to the channel, go to the Patreon, all that fun shit, right or left. But if you are right-wing in my audience, I have to ask you the question. Why do you approve of this? And you do approve of this, because even if you say you don't, you elected the person who did, who was very clear about what he was going to do, who had a very public document detailing what he was going to do, the campaigns of fear that he was going to enact. And you voted for that. And if you didn't vote for that, you just didn't vote, then what the fuck is wrong with you in that case? If you are a right-wing American who voted for Donald Trump, this is in fact something you endorse. we can toss around words about whether or not this is technically your fault. I don't think it is your fault, per se. I think we should come together and try to fix this problem. But before we can fix the problem, we need to acknowledge that there is a problem. And one of those problems is that when warning upon warning upon warning upon warning was given to each and every one of you, why did you ignore them? Was it worth it to ignore them when you created a goddamn, or helped create a goddamn regime? Anyway, that's not all. I wish it was. Here's another one. Police say that they mistakenly pulled over a college student, but she still faces deportation anyway. When police in Dalton, Georgia, very fucking close to me, pulled over Ximena Arias Cristobal, officers accused the 19-year-old college student of making an illegal right turn at a red light. Fun fact, right turns at red lights are usually legal. She told officers that she didn't have her international driver's license on her. And according to a police report, she was taken into custody. Then she was moved to an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention center 4 hours away. And now she faces the possibility of being removed from the country along with her family. Ma'am, you made a right turn wrong. We're fucking your entire life. But local police this week admitted that the officers made a mistake. After reviewing the dash cam footage from the traffic stop on May 5th, it was determined that Miss Arias Cristobal's vehicle appeared similar to the offending vehicle, but it was not actually the vehicle that made the improper turn. Okay. And then police and prosecutors dismissed the charges against her, but Donald Trump's administration intends to remove her from the United States, where she's lived since she was 4. This woman has been here. I'm sorry, that's a 19-year-old. That's still a goddamn kid. This person has been here for 15 years and didn't do the crime that you said she did, and you're still just like, fuck it, deport her. Again, if you are a member of ICE, you are not a good person. Your affiliation with ICE is all that is required for me to say you are a scumbag. Yeah, her crime was being brown. Her crime was being brown enough. So I'm gonna. There's an old Family Guy joke. There's an old Family Guy joke. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw it at you. We've all seen this moment from the show. In fact, you all probably know the exact moment that I'm going to pull up. Right here. This is a joke. But this is unironically the reality we're living in. This is unironically the reality that the right wing of America has created for us. And we get more and more evidence that this is the reality they have created every goddamn day. And I do not understand it. I cannot understand it. I cannot understand why they approve of this. And they can't say they don't approve of this. They voted for the guy who said they were going to do this. So either they are blatantly irresponsible with their vote, in which case they should spend some time getting themselves informed before they go to the goddamn voting booth, or they're just hypocrites. It's one or the other. Your ex sent me that when I texted him after getting pulled for an extra search at an airport. It's just this. It's just this. Arias Cristobal's parents did not have legal permission to enter the United States from Mexico in 2010 when she was a toddler, and she did not qualify for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which ended the year before her family entered the country, according to family friends. She is now isolated from her family members, except one. Her father, Jose Francisco Arias Tovar, was recently arrested after allegedly going 19 miles over the speed limit and is inside the same ICE detention center, according to online detention records. Ah, yes, you were speeding. So let me go ahead and explain something. A friend of mine's brother, actually no, and a friend of mine, both of them got super speeder, right? This is super speeder. This is reckless driving. They got this, but they're white. So guess what they got? They got a pretty hefty fine. But nope, if you're brown, you go to an ICE detention center. Homeland Security says the family will be able to return to Mexico together. Bitch, the daughter is not returning to Mexico. She's lived here her entire fucking life. There is no return there. Jesus Christ. Mr. Tovar had ample opportunity to seek a legal pathway to citizenship. He chose not to. We are not ignoring the rule of law. So I do not necessarily understand why this is a problem. If somebody is in the United States and they are not causing issues, then what the fuck is the problem? And if we are to assume that you are correct, then sure, he should have gone through the proper channels or whatever. But I don't necessarily buy that, because a lot of times people who are in the United States and get deported, many times it's not because they've done something wrong, it's because they've overstayed a visa. And overstaying a visa shouldn't be a fucking crime. I'm sorry. The Trump administration's CBP Home app is giving parents illegally in the country a chance to take full control of their departure and self-deport, with the potential ability to return the legal right way and come back to live the American dream. Yeah, self-deporting requires money. That requires having enough money for a plane ticket and then a place to go in the other country. Jake 3D says, we're not ignoring the rule of law, but we're also going to ignore habeas corpus. Yeah, we're not going to ignore the rule of law, but also this woman did nothing wrong, so fuck her, she's getting deported. During a news conference Monday, Dalton's Assistant Chief of Police, Chris Crossan, said, we certainly regret the circumstances that led us to where we are today. No, the fuck you don't. You don't. I promise you, you don't. You don't care. If you cared, this wouldn't have fucking happened. They said Ximena is one of many young, innocent people who have had the misfortune of being caught up in Trump's cruel dragnet, her attorney, Dustin Baxter, told The Independent. The fact that Ximena, like many others, have committed no crime for which they can be deported means nothing anymore. Growing up in the United States and being a beloved member of her community means nothing to ICE, Baxter said. The administration's reinstatement of a so-called no-release policy and arrest quotas make a mockery of Trump's promise to deport bad people. The reality is there are very few, quote, bad immigrants. Most are just like us. They want to work hard, care for their families, and contribute to society, Baxter told The Independent. It's a shame that we do not let them. We remain committed to obtaining Ximia's release from custody and fighting against a broken immigration system to allow her to remain in the country in which she grew and which she loves. Her arrest sparked outrage and ongoing protests throughout the Dalton community, and Republican State Representative Casey Carpenter is pressing an immigration judge for her swift release. Good. I'm glad there's at least one Republican with a modicum of a spine. Said it's impossible. I mean, that's the argument you'll hear all the time from people on the other side. Well, they've been here 15 years. Why haven't they become a citizen? Because it's impossible, Carpenter told News Channel 9. There is no pathway for someone that is in America right now towards citizenship unless they get married and have a kid, and the child grows up, and the child's 18. Then that child can petition for their parents. But as far as an individual that is between the ages of 4 and 25, there's no pathway. A GoFundMe established by family friend Hannah Jones, whose children have been babysat for several years, has recently raised $80,000 as of this publication. Dalton is a largely Republican-leaning part of the state, but Jones told The Independent last week that everyone knows this is wrong. No, the fuck they don't. I promise you they don't. There are people that want to say they know this is wrong, but they voted for it anyway. She is largely jailed inside Georgia's. She is currently jailed inside Georgia's Stewart Detention Center, operated by private prison from Core Civic. We should not have private prison firms. No, I'm not allowed to call for violence on this channel. I'm not allowed to do this. But I am also of the opinion that the best way to deal with private prisons is sledgehammers. Not that anybody can do that. Not that anybody should do that. But if we can't legally get them to be abolished, there are more of us than there are other people. If this were a fictional world, there would be an uprising. And those people would be breaking down the prison bit by bit. But we don't live in a fictional world, so we have to do things like due process, which apparently the Republican administration is ignoring anyway. Fucking hell. Her arrest follows several high-profile cases across the country involving immigrant families with mixed legal statuses as the president and immigration officials embark in a sweeping, aggressive anti-immigration agenda. So, you know, what's funny? Do you remember the Hispanic woman who said, "We love Trump"? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Is this woman right here.
Can I vote for Mr. Trump? We vote for Mr. Trump! Yes! Mr. Trump! We love you! We love you! All the way to the White House!
Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
I swear to you, I think she's totally beautiful and great. I never met her before, I swear. This all started with a People magazine.
Okay, so the funny thing about that, and I wish I had the video to show you this, but that woman has actually come out in later years saying that she was used. Saying that she was used. It's insane to me. It is insane to me that we live in a reality where there are people who vote against their own interests all the goddamn time. I wish I could find that video so that I had evidence here if somebody has seen that. It was one of those things that I saw while scrolling through the Facebook feed. How long ago was the vid? I want to say it was a handful of months ago that it was shown, but I'm not 100% certain. I was trying to find it, and I could not find it. I was trying to find the video where this happened, because I know I found it on my Facebook feed, but no luck. No luck there for me, which sucks. That sucks. But anyway, why is there a giant black hole in the background? Because it looks cool. That all said, this shit is bananas. We live in a very, very fucked up world where people who have done nothing wrong are getting in trouble and getting deported for doing nothing, which means this whole, like, when Trump says that we're doing the worst first policy, no, the fuck we're not. We haven't been doing a worst first policy the entire time. It's just been whichever brown person or person who stands up to the establishment that we don't like, despite us having freedom of speech, we just get rid of them. That's what it has been from the beginning, and that's what it's going to continue to be going forward. And never, ever, 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 ever believe the lies of the Republican Party when they pretend otherwise. They are lying. They are wrong. Call them out for their lies. That is the correct thing to do here, is always call them out for their lies. Call your representatives, make sure they are your Republican representatives, and put their feet to the fire. Use 5 calls, use resist bot. Ask them why they lied to you. Ask them why they continue to lie to you. Get your friends to do it. Get your brothers and sisters to do it. Get your mom to do it. Get your dad to do it. Get your fucking grandma to do it. Do it at your state capitol. Do it over the phone. Do it via email. Why did you lie? Why are you forsaking me? Shame them constantly for the inhumane practices they are doing and threaten them in the primaries, because they do not deserve to keep their seats. and they have proven they do not deserve to keep their seats because they've aligned themselves with a fascist. We need politics and compassion to meet. Let's make a world where that fucking happens. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.